everybody, and welcome to Toyah and Robert's Upbeat Moments.
And I'm Robert.
He certainly is, and how are you?
I'm well, little lovey. I'm totally psyched this week, but more important for me, what upbeat moments have you been having this week?
Well, I didn't tell you, but I spent last night in the daylight before it got dark stalking a blue flag. So we have our lawn marked out at the moment with an irrigation system that's just going in, and they put in these little blue flags, and I was going down to the compost heap and I thought, we've got 4 blue woodpeckers on the lawn. I mean, I hit the ground. I was crawling along the ground thinking, I've got to see these woodpeckers. And they were blue flags.
Well, at least that was an upbeat moment for you, dear.
And another upbeat moment is I managed to persuade Robert to watch Barbie. Not his kind of film, but we loved it. I am definitely weird Barbie, and Robert is definitely distinguished Ken.
I don't quite feel a Ken kind of character, dear.
Oh, I think you are. You're Ken when he grows old and wise. Definitely.
All right, I'm Ken then.
But what a brilliant film. I was cheering all the way through it.
It's true, my wife was very much engaged with the story that was unfolding.
Especially the last line. And if you haven't seen it, I'm not telling it you, but it sums it all up. Fantastic. Now, another thing, and then I'm going to let you talk, because I know I've talked a lot already.
Not enough, dear.
The joy of getting older, and I don't know if you find this, is memories keep suddenly popping up that are so unmemorable. And I think this is part of the process of us going through our lives and realising who and what we are. And I can be doing something, I'm now 65, I'm doing something around the house, and I think, why did that memory come back? And then I realised that memory came back because it was more pivotal than any stage performance, more pivotal in my life than anything, physically bad that happened to me. And it's silly little things that in my childhood, in my teens, that I now realise what's made me so self-protective. Just remarks from boys or remarks from girlfriends that really kind of say, you're not tall enough, you're not good looking enough, but so subtle. And these memories are coming back. And I think they come back to us as we age so that we can see the truth and who we are. But I had a beautiful one yesterday, and it's kind of made me feel very rebellious against everything in life. And it was the moment when I entered creativity, when I was starting to write as a professional musician, when I was about 19, how I would go into that zone, and that zone was almost shamanistic. And I've not been in that zone for at least 30 years. I mean, really in that zone. And I had a conversation this morning with a friend who said she finds modern life too distracting to be creative. And I remember this memory I had yesterday of going into that zone, and that zone was so real and it was so precious and so connected. That is now my aim, really for the rest of my life, is to find that zone again. And it's going to be like entering a bit of a war zone against modernity and against AI and against modern life. But that, above all, is my upbeat moment. I'll shut up now.
No, little lovey, that's a wonderful, wonderful moment. Well, no, there are things I could say about this, but not on this particular occasion. But essentially, I do resonate with that place that my little lovey has described. And if the rest of our lives are involved in simply being available and moving into that space, hooray, I say to that.
Without creativity, we have no culture, and I feel really strongly about that. I'm going to shut up. What's your upbeat moment?
I think you have touched on something which is so important. I would simply defer to that and say that is my upbeat moment too.
Okay, but you are holding some precious thing.
These precious things can wait till next week.
Oh, bug! No, come on!
All right then. Look, one of the things I've been doing, getting a little older, is sorting through the boxes that have been packed for decades. I have boxes going back to leaving Reddish House in 1999, and Fernhill House before that in 1987 with various things. But anyway, this morning I pulled out of a box. This is my grandfather. This is my grandfather, Austin Fripp. I think he's probably about 21. And he was stationed with the Royal Marines at Eastney Barracks in Gosport. This is my... there's a story to be told,
Okay.
little lovely story to be told. But would you like to hold that up, please? My grandfather, who was in Gallipoli with the Royal Marines in 1917, he was already married. He married Emily Bennett of the Gosport area, Gosport, Portsmouth. This is clearly them on their wedding day. I believe he was about 21. This is Emily Bennett's mother. So this is my great-grandmother on my father Arthur's side.
Love it.
This is Joe Green, my grandfather on my mother St. Edith's side. Joe was a miner. I guess this is Joe Green about 2021. This is Joe Green in front of the family house built by my father, his brothers, by Joe, his father and Joe's brothers, about 1900, which became Greenland Terrace. And this building is now 80 Aberbeeg Road in Aberbeeg.
Can I just add something?
Please.
My grandfather and my father built our family house. People
Wow.
did that back then.
Isn't that astonishing? And this is Joe Green's wife, Gladys, with her parents. So these are my great-grandparents on my mother Edith's side, and this is my grandmother Gladys, who of course we knew as Nans, on my mother's side.
I love it.
So
These people made who you are today.
well, they certainly had a part in it.
Their hard work, 2 wars. I mean, God bless them.
Astonishing amount of work from those families.
Yes.
So there we are, little
Wow.
lovely, my upbeat moments. And may I say, you telling us about your moment of Duende was also an upbeat moment for me.
Duende.
That's another conversation, sweetheart.
Have a good week, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow for a trip down memory lane Sunday lunch.
Lots of love from Robert too.